A long time no see. I know it's been a while since I've done videos. I've actually done a lot of videos. They're just not being uploaded for whatever reason. But I wanted to talk about commitment today and commitment on different levels. Commitment on your career, commitment on yourself, commitment with friendships, commitment with lovers, commitment with your family, just commitment in general. And one thing I've learned is a lot of pain and suffering comes from when you're committed and whoever is the other part of the party or the situation is not committed. Um, and somebody was telling me that the reason that I'm so sad is because I was committed, but the other person wasn't, and it's true. So if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're committed and you guys break up and the other person moved on and they've already started with someone else, and I can honestly attest to this, that like you'll break up with somebody and then within a year they're married with kids and living a great life and you're still like sad. Well, it's because you were committed and they weren't. Because if they were committed, they never would have left. If they were committed, they never would have had issues communicating with you, because they would have been committed and they would have been like, I'm going to try to make this work because I'm committed, right? So for any of you that are suffering a heartache or pain, you have to understand that that's 90% of the time that's what happened, is the lack of commitment, the lack of somebody being committed to you. Because if they were, then you'd still be together and you'd still be in each other's lives and you'd still be communicating, because there was a commitment in the friendship, because friendship comes before relationship, and there was a commitment in the relationship. If your work, if you ever got laid off or fired from a job, you may have been committed, but they weren't committed to you. Most companies are not committed to their employees. So when you do find a company that's committed to you and they care about their employees and they have very little layoffs, that's a company you want to commit yourself to and work really hard to make sure that you're a valuable asset to that company. There has to be a commitment on both parts. And this is a really important lesson for you guys to learn. It will really save you a lot of pain and suffering. Because when somebody told me this, it made it easier. You still suffer, but it makes it a lot easier. I mean, also, there's faith. If you have faith in the universe, you're not going to suffer because you believe that everything is happening as it should. There are no mistakes. But in reality, we're human beings, whatever. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that type of commitment. When you have a startup and you're starting a business, you need to be committed to the business. There's going to be lots of ups and downs. If you quit, you weren't committed. You need to be committed and fight through everything, because when you do, that's when the money rolls in. That's when the millions come. That's when things start happening, is when you're committed. Commitment is a really important thing, because when you choose to commit to something, you will reap rewards. Okay? You have to realize that you sow, right? You sow. You know what that means? That means tilling the earth, breaking it down, putting the seeds in, and then you water it. So you're nurturing it, you're growing it. And sometimes you have to wait, like a bamboo. It may take 14 years for it to sprout, but when it sprouts, it just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, and it's really, really tall, really, really fast, but it takes a while for it to get to that point. Well, it's the same thing with life, with love, with friendship. You sow seeds, you nurture and water it and grow it, and then you wait for it to flourish and blossom. But a lot of times we, as impatient Americans, you could be from any other country, but it tends to be more Americans, we're very impatient. And we live in a I want it now society. And this isn't happening fast enough. And I mean, I understand time and patience, but, we all want things to happen a little quicker, right? And because we don't wait for the harvest to grow so that we can reap it and then reap the benefits of it, we tend to quit and give up before the miracle happens, before it starts to sprout, before you see the leaves and the flowers and the trees, and and again, that's due to lack of commitment. I'm a very committed person. I love everyone in my life. I'm friends with everyone. People have screwed me over and I've forgiven them and I'm still friends with them because I was committed to the friendship. When I choose to have somebody in my life, it's an honor, because I don't let a lot of people in. And just because I let you in doesn't mean you're gonna stick around and stay. You know what I mean? But I'm committed, and I think it's really important. Same thing with my careers and with my businesses and the things that I start. They're taking a long time to grow, but I'm committed to them. So when they do start growing, because I never gave up, I'm gonna reap the rewards. And it's the same thing when you're pursuing your career, when you're pursuing your dream, when you're pursuing something. Most people give up right before they find the reward. There is a book that I read. It was so amazing. Oh my God, what is it called? I think it's called 3 Feet from Gold or 10 Feet from Gold. Look it up. Look up Feet from Gold. It's a book. 30 feet from gold, 10 feet from gold, 3 feet from gold. It's something like that. And basically, it's the most amazing book. I recommend everybody reads it. I'm actually going to put a link for it underneath this because everybody should read it. And I'm also going to put a link for this website that I signed up for. It's $25, unlimited audiobooks. They're mostly like self-help and what's it called? Like self-improvement books and things that are really, really good. Napoleon Hill, all these awesome authors that I highly recommend that everybody gets a chance to read. And if you can't read, listen to it when you're driving. You know, you're going to be using your data, but it's worth it. Sometimes you can download them and then listen to them. So I highly recommend that. But 3 Feet from Gold was about a guy who, you know, the California gold rush, right? He bought this land and he was, you know, tilling it. And he was digging. He didn't find any gold. And then he sold it, right? He lost a lot of money. He put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, you know, but he had given up. He had lost hope. So he sells his land, and this other person starts to dig because they also had a dream, and they came to California, and they were like, I'm here to find gold. And they just dug 3 feet down and found a gold line. And they ended up making millions of dollars from that gold. Had that guy just dug 3 more feet, all of the effort and work that he put into it would have flourished and it would have been worth it. But he gave up. And because he gave up, someone else who had the dream came in and reaped the rewards. You know, my friend was telling me someone's trash is someone else's treasure, and it's so true. You know what I mean? But you also have to, you know, realize that just because somebody's not it's not trash. There's no such thing as trash. Everybody's a treasure and everything's a treasure. You just have to put the work in too, you know? And it's about everybody, you know, when they were telling me that, it almost made it seem like a relationship thing. And I was like, yeah, but both people have to put in effort. And both people have to be committed, you know? And effort is a huge thing when it comes to commitment, when it comes to your career, when it comes to your family. There's a lot of people that leave their families. They're not committed. I'm not happy. I'm sorry, but you're not going to be happy 24 hours a day, 7 days a year. If you're with somebody for 30 years, you might not be happy for 10 of those years. I hope that doesn't happen to you. But of those 10 years that you're not happy, there's 20 years that you are. So is it worth it to be happy with somebody for 20 out of 30 years, or to constantly be looking for that new love, that rush, that like, oh my God, this is great, and then have it fall apart because it turns into a relationship and you're not committed to making it work, so then you quit and then you start all over again, you know? So I hope this is getting to you guys. I hope you guys are like getting the lesson and the purpose. Same thing with business, same thing with pursuing your dreams, same things with a career. If you stay committed, you will reap the rewards, because think about all of that information, all of that knowledge, all of the experience that you've had to that point before you quit. If you kept going, you only would have learned more, and you would have been better, and then you would have been an expert and a professional. They say something like it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at anything, right? That's a lot of hours. But if you do something for 10,000 hours, you can basically call yourself an expert. So again, it just leads to commitment. And I've seen through my life, I've watched people and I'm like, wow, you were right there. You were right there. Like, I saw all these doors and you just kept shutting them and walking through them. And it's happened to me too. I was right there. I've had opportunities where I was like, oh, I was so close, and then ego or pride or anger or lust, well, not for me, lust, but the other, you know, they get in the way, and then nothing comes from it, you know. But then you get second chances, and sometimes you get third chances, and sometimes you get fourth chances. The universe is really funny with that. When the universe wants something, it's gonna make it happen, and it's gonna make it work, you know. If you're destined for something, what's yours is yours and no one can take it away from you. I said that to somebody once and they just recently said it to me again. And it's true. No one can take it away from you but you. And it's sad, but it's true. But if it's yours, if it's really yours, and the universe, and you still want it, the universe will make it work. It always does. So, that goes with friendship, love, career, dreams, family. Be committed. I'm not telling anybody how to live their life. There's a lot of people that have children and they're not with the mother or the father, and they have very happy lives. You know, they both have different relationships. The kid gets so much love from everywhere. You know, there's other people where they are committed and they have healthy relationships. What I'm going to tell you that I think is very important is that a kid needs two parents. It doesn't matter if you're the biological parent or not. They need someone to raise them, and that person that raises them needs to be committed. You need to be committed to the child, not to the mother, not to the father. I mean, hopefully you are, but to the child, because the child needs that relationship throughout the course of their life. It's very important. If you are a parent, if you have ever been a parent, and then you've walked out or you've moved on or you have a different family, or keep in touch with the child. It is so important that they feel that they have a connection with you. Same thing with friendship, with love. Don't ever cut somebody out of your life. Like, I'm not talking to you because I'm moving on to a different part, or I'm not talking to you, blah, 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 blah. That's childish and irresponsible and stupid. Why would you do that? If somebody is in your life and you were friends or you were committed, or, you know, there was a connection, why would you cut them out of your life? Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, unless the other person wasn't committed and didn't care at all. And those are some harsh realities you may have to accept, but it shouldn't stop you from being a good person, and it shouldn't stop you from committing to your career or your dream or your life or your family or your friends or your relationship. Commitment is what makes it grow into something amazing. So, I don't know what you guys are going to choose to commit to. All I know is that if somebody tells you that, because most people, we don't talk about those things. We don't talk about, you know, giving it your all, working your best, doing, you know, people hear it, but they don't really understand it. And this video is just to help you guys understand about commitment and how important it is. And when you are committed, that the rewards will come, and things will happen, and things will flourish, and things will grow, and things will be more magnificent than you ever imagined, because that commitment yields rewards. I'm very committed to everything, especially my friendships. And if a friendship ended, it's because that person walked away, not because I did anything. I'm always here. I'm always loving. So, XOXO. Peace, guys. Love you. Bye.